Guys, Jeff Fan here. Duca de Osta on the screen, and Cincinnati is my commander. And we're going to just look at some quick numbers here with the D'Aosta. 16.3 on the firing range, 7.9 reload. Again, that 7.9 is because of the fact that I have the rotating turrets for the aiming system in slot 1. And the 9.4 detectability, 12 kilometer on torpedo range. I like that. Pretty good reloading torps. Armor's okay on it. Decent little ship so far. This is actually my very first game I ever took out in this ship. The deals that were in the store, I think it's like whatever it was, 30% off or something like that. I had my eye on this ship. I decided with that deal, I'm going to make the move for it. Ended up going for it, and I'm not disappointed at all. It's basically a tier 5 ship that is decent, I would say mid-pack. If you made me like pick a spot on where I had to rank a Brutes or a D'Aosta in the tier 5 slot, I'd say it's probably mid-pack. The rudder shift on this with the Cincinnati build is 5 seconds, which at tier 5 is very good. It's above average in my opinion. The armor scheme is pretty decent. The HE shells are not the best, but the Italian line in general struggles with the HE shells, especially on these light cruisers. 7.9 on the reload because of the turret traverse that buff that I have. And you see there, look at those turrets. They're spinning pretty quick there. So you have that as a added benefit. And I also want to talk about the AP on these. If you get broadside in anything, okay, even broadside battleships, you aim in that superstructure, that upper belt, right at the top of the ship where the superstructure is, and before the side plating starts. You start shooting there, 7.9 second reload, you're going to do some damage, okay? You're going to be able to affect and cause effective damage to ships when you do that. So you see there, we throwing the HE out, we're trying to get some shells hits and see what we're doing there. We end up getting a little bit of damage there, 693. Fire chance is not the best. That's also why I have Cincinnati on here. With that slot 2 perk, you get the extra increased chance of causing fire. I like, again, you heard me mention in my Abruzzi video, I've talked about it, why I like having the sonar. No different here when it comes to the Duca de Aosta. I like ships that have sonar. I like having that ability. I don't really care so much for the airplane. I wish I could have had smoke, but that I think would have made this ship a little too powerful for tier 5. So you see there, we take a shot, and we get spotted there by the New York, and basically we know that that's not a fight we want to take. American battleships will absolutely decimate us, so we turn out. We get a fire, about 4K worth of damage. Again, we're just getting these turrets out. You see the quick traverse on those front guns, able to flip, and all of a sudden Farragut pops up here. Now, Farragut popping up, you basically you see where we're at. He's trying to smoke up. We're throwing shells out. We're getting 693 a pop on those hits. So again, he's gonna feel damage real quick. Again, standard pen, and 7.9 second reload. You're getting these guns out, and they're really effective at doing the damage that needs to get done to sink these guys. And this guy's just getting chewed up. So you see there, we obviously popped the sonar because I'm concerned about torpedoes. I know that the Farragut doesn't have the best range on the torpedoes, but again, we're moving at over 32 knots in the water. Good speed on this D'Aosta here. Use the speed to your advantage. Guidey pops up, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to go after him now too. We got 56 seconds here on our sonar. So this ship does very well against destroyers. It is a destroyer hunter. It's a destroyer killer. And again, you see 5-second rudder shift, right? It's still reactive enough for us to evade torpedoes when they're seen, and we're able to affect the game in that way. This Duca de Aosta might be one of my my favorites at the tier. I like this ship a lot. And you see there, we're just throwing the torpedoes out. We're expecting him at some point to go forward. We're just getting him out into the water. Torpedoes have a 0% chance of hitting in the torp tubes. Okay, what I mean by that is you got to get them out. You got to get them, you know, seeing what they're gonna do. We know that that guy's dead, and we end up getting a torpedo sinking on him. Again, not because we're waiting for the indicator. We're anticipating he's going in reverse. He's gonna throw it. He's gonna throw it the throttle forward once we come around that corner and we catch him. So that's what we do. Again, we're just kind of throwing those torpedoes out, anticipating possibly a slight turn in by that Montecicoli. He ends up getting 3+ torpedo hits into the Ismail, and we have the AP loaded. He's giving us a real good broadside, and now we're sending the AP shells out. Okay, AP shells on this ship in the right positions, and what I mean by that is when you're up close and you're getting broadsides. I'm telling you, use the AP on Duca. All right, it'll hit, it'll hurt, and it'll get the job done. So again, torpedoes are on the way. They look like they're decent. His attention's elsewhere. He ends up taking one torpedo hit, and we're just kind of blind firing here. We're trying to see where he's at. We blind fire into where we anticipated him to be, and we end up getting a sinking on the blind fire. So again, by knowing and anticipating where people were last seen, you can sometimes affect games that way. So we're at 3 sinking, 62,000 damage. Again, it's 29,000 HP ship, almost 30,000 HP ship. So we've already doubled our HP. Now we go drop spot there, and the reason why is because right now, look at the map. Okay, look at the way the map's laid out. Look at the way we're kind of having to engage these guys. It's pretty clear as day, okay, that we are literally the only ship on this side of the map. Therefore, we're the only ship that any of these guys can shoot at, okay? Which means that we are going to be in for a bad day if we just keep shooting those guns on reload, okay? Again, Molotov, not a bad ship, okay? It can do some serious damage. Arizona's got our broadside. We know that there's a New York, I think, out there somewhere as well. There's multiple ships here, okay? So we can't just sit here and play willy-nilly. Hey, we're just going to keep shooting these guns on reload. We're going to use the 9.4 kilometer detectability. Good detectability for a cruiser, okay? We're going to use that solid detectability. We're going to drop spot. We're going to stay out of the line of fire in that sense. We're not going to give this Molotov an easy target every time. And this Arizona, we're not trying to give him a look, okay? So again, the torpedoes, you just get them out. I know they're slow torpedoes, but they reload relatively quick. And you have a good chance of actually doing some serious damage if you get them on target. So you just need to get the torpedoes out, okay? By holding them, again, like I said in the past, by holding them in the torp tubes, you have 0% chance of hitting. You get them out, you get them reloaded, and by the time on the off chance that I have to get into another engagement, you see there I'm already down to a 30-second left on the reload, okay? So basically by the time that those torpedoes hit their target or get to their target, which looks like he's gonna take one. He takes one and nearly misses the other one. Again, that's 7+K, right? That's 7K that we hit him for because we're getting torpedoes out of the torp tubes, okay? And we're about to be reloaded again, okay? And then again, we're just gonna send those torpedoes out once they're done, once they're ready to be sent out, once the tubes are ready and loaded. If you get them out and you get them in the water, they have a chance of affecting the game and doing damage. Just my opinion on torpedoes, just my opinion on how I like to play these Italian cruisers. A lot of people, like I said, and I've heard it, the Italian sea mines, right? Everybody's heard people rip on these torpedoes. But again, they can really be effective if they're used in the right circumstance. So Arizona coming around the corner, got a wide open look at us. I was hoping he wouldn't take a shot at us. We try to turn out a little bit. We take some serious chunk damage there, down to 7,700 HP. We're just getting these shells out. At this point, we've kind of accepted the fact that we're probably going down. We're trying to angle as best we can against all these targets. Hatsuharu ends up taking down that Russian cruiser. So now it's just Arizona on this flank, and we have 2 destroyers, 2 cruisers, and a battleship off to the side. So we're just sailing away. We're in the kiting position. We're trying to open the distance between us and this battleship. Why? Because the greater the distance is, the worse his dispersion is going to be, and the better chance we have of dodging these shells. Again, we are just looking at this point to open that distance. We're at 11.5, 11.6, 11.7. We're over 30 knots, and we're actually being maneuverable. We're trying to turn. We're trying to do all those good things. So when you have this Duca at full throttle and you have it opened up in that sense, right, at full, and you're still twitching the rudder back and forth, you can still stay around high 20s, 30, low 30s with your speed in the water. That's obviously if you're not constantly making a solid turn or whatever. If you're kind of twitching the rudder, doing all that stuff, you can stay in the high 20s, low 30s, which at tier 5, again, like I've said, is a good speed to stay at. So you have the speed to be an effective cruiser. The HE is very effective against destroyers. AP, in the right circumstance, when you get in a flat broadside against a cruiser, can rip cruisers apart. Again, don't be afraid to take those shots when they're presented to you. But you're going to struggle against battleships, especially well-angled battleships. So you have to know, as I said in the past, know when to hold them, know when to fold them, right? And we've all heard that song. Okay, it's a Kenny Rogers song, if those of you who don't know it. But anyway, you got to know your ship. You got to know your strengths, your weaknesses, what your ship brings to the table, what you can be effective with from your weapon selection, stuff like that. And again, torpedoes, get them in the water. Use your speed. 5-second rudder at tier 5, solid. Okay, the reload 7.9 seconds with the turret reverse buff. Okay, those turrets spin like a top. You have under 8-second reload. Again, Duca, if you have that token and you have 30% off, really good look, really good investment. I'd recommend it. So that's all I got for you guys today. If you liked the video, leave it a like. We will see you guys out on the high seas. Take care.